Summary of 1 Kings 9-12 NLT. 1 Kings 9, God's covenant and Solomon's achievements. After Solomon completes the temple and his palace, God appears to him again. God reaffirms his promise of blessing if Solomon and Israel remain faithful, but he also warns that disobedience will bring destruction even to the temple. Solomon continues expanding his kingdom. He gives 20 cities in Galilee to King Hiram of Tyre in exchange for materials. He builds fortified cities, storehouses, and military outposts. He uses forced labor from non-Israelites to complete his projects. Solomon also maintains a strong navy, and wealth continues to flow into Israel. 1 Kings 10, the Queen of Sheba and Solomon's well. The Queen of Sheba visits Solomon to test his wisdom with hard questions. She is amazed by his knowledge, wealth, and the grandeur of his kingdom. She praises God for blessing Israel with such a wise king. Solomon's riches grow immensely. He receives large amounts of gold annually. He owns a fleet of trading ships. He collects 1,400 chariots and 12,000 horses. Silver is so abundant that it is considered as common as stone in Jerusalem. 1 Kings 11, Solomon's downfall. Despite his wisdom, Solomon turns away from God. He marries 700 wives and has 300 concubines, many of whom worship foreign gods. He builds altars for idols like Ashtoreth, Molech, and Chemosh to please his wives. This Onge god, who tells Solomon that his kingdom will be torn away but not in his lifetime, for David's sake. Enemies rise against Solomon. Hadad of Edom and Rezon of Aram cause trouble. Jeroboam, a servant of Solomon, rebels after a prophet tells him he will rule over 10 tribes. After 40 years of ruling, Solomon dies, and his son Rehoboam becomes king. 1 Kings 12, division of the kingdom. Rehoboam faces a crisis immediately. The Israelites, led by Jeroboam, ask him to ease the heavy labor and taxes imposed by Solomon. Instead of listening to the wise elders, Rehoboam follows his young advisor's harsh advice. He vows to make their burden even heavier. This leads to a rebellion, and the kingdom splits. Jeroboam becomes king of the northern kingdom, Israel, ruling 10 tribes. Rehoboam remains king of Judah's southern kingdom, ruling over Judah and Benjamin. To prevent Israelites from worshiping in Jerusalem, Jeroboam builds 2 golden calves in Bethel and Dan, leading Israel into idolatry. Key themes. 1. Obedience versus disobedience. Solomon's success is tied to faithfulness, but his downfall comes through sin. 2. God's judgment. Because of idolatry, Israel is divided. 3. Leadership matters. Wise leadership leads to prosperity. Foolishness leads to disaster. For the dangers of idolatry, Jeroboam's golden calves set Israel on a path of rebellion against God.